Hallo und herzlich willkommen im Besenwagen. Mein Name ist Bastian Marx und ich bin dein Busfahrer. Erstmal vielen lieben Dank, dass du eingeschaltet hast. Und ein kleiner Disclaimer, denn, Vorsicht, diese Woche gibt es zum ersten Mal auf diesem Kanal eine Folge auf Englisch. WHOOP hat uns zum Mountainbike World Cup in Leger eingeladen und uns die Gäste Puck Pieterse und Jeremy Powers beschafft. Und die wollen wir keinem vorenthalten. Also, es lohnt sich, hör rein. Die Nachbesprechung von Gravel DM als auch die finale Auswertung und unsere Kommentare zur Vuelta bekommst du dann nächste Woche. Also noch ein kleines bisschen Geduld, auch das wird sich lohnen. Ich bedanke mich wie immer an unseren Unterstützer RAPHA, der seit Stunde 1 beim Besenwagen dabei ist. Und nun rein in die Folge mit Andi, mir, Georg Egger, Puck Pieterse und Jeremy Powers. Paul haben wir leider nicht mitgenommen, denn der musste bei der Gravel DM schnell Rad fahren. Der ist dann auch nächste Woche wieder am Start. Also viel Spaß und Abfahrt.
So, welcome everybody to the WHOOP booth in Leger at the Mountainbike World Cup. Thanks for having us. This is Besenwagen, German road podcast. Seems a bit weird here at the Mountainbike World Cup, but I already told Andy, and maybe our co-commentator today has to say something about it. There has been a situation in the past, not so long ago, where this has happened, and I would say, because we are under the top 20 road podcasts, we were put in the second row here in the MTB World Cup. George, maybe I have to introduce you, because normally we have Paul Voss with us, but he raced German Gravel Championship today, and so we got someone who knows a bit more about mountain bike racing. Georg Egger.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm the mountain bike expert in the group here, and I try to explain you a bit what is going on in the Mountainbike World Cup.
It's definitely necessary. And you have also some experience in podcasting, so you were the perfect fit for today.
Yeah, exactly. I run my own podcast together with Lukas Baum, who won the Gravel German Championships today.
We have some victories to celebrate today.
Paul. So, yeah, more or less the whole team of the Gravel Champs is here now, more or less. You got a second
win-win situation.
Win-win for everyone.
We are under a bit of time pressure because we have a special guest, thanks to WHOOP. And I was looking forward to her for a few weeks now because she was promised as a guest to us. And she's really here. I called to come to us. And she noticed, hey, it's Puck Pieterse.
Good afternoon.
Hey, first of all questions, do you know what a Besenwagen is?
No.
It's German, and it's the word for broom wagon.
Ah, yeah, Besenwagen. It's the same in Dutch, actually.
Okay. Have you attended a Besenwagen in your life?
Luckily not.
So far?
No.
Hey, you have to do it.
No, I don't want to.
I think that won't happen. It won't happen.
I hope so. It's good to not see it in the race.
Yeah. Okay, you are the perfect guest today because you just won yesterday.
Yes.
Like it's a good omen, I guess. Normally, guests in our podcast in Germany have a good possibility to win after they attended our podcast. So we normally have road guys and girls. Nearly everybody in Germany was already guests in our podcast. And normally in the next weeks, things are pretty smooth. But it's normally like this in your life, I think.
Maybe it gets even smoother, huh?
That's how we
I
do.
hope so. It would
That's
be
how
really
we
nice,
do it.
Huh?
All the guests are pretty successful anyway, but we praise ourselves. You know, we're a bit that lucky charm.
For
Maybe
sure,
it's also good for me.
It can't be a coincidence anymore now.
No,
So
that's true.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if the streak continues.
I will start with a pretty short introduction because not all of our German listeners will at once know who you are, because, as I said, normally road listeners, and but it's definitely super interesting because you race on the road when you want some time and
a bit, yeah.
Scored some really good results already. But just as a short introduction, you are 21 years now from the Netherlands, and you're kind of successful. Let me say your Wikipedia career started when you were 16, and you already got 5th and 6th at European Championship in cyclocross. Can I say cyclocross is still your main discipline?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, I think, especially after this season. I really see myself as an off-road rider, so I don't have to choose between the two. But till now, it's been the discipline I had the most results in.
You were European champion in cyclocross in under 19, in under 23. You were world champion in cyclocross in under 23 when Tom Pidcock was in Fayetteville, yes, this year, exactly. And this year already 2nd in the World Championships, European champion, Dutch champion, and 4 World Cup titles in cyclocross. But now it's summer, and you are bored, so you are here. And we can come to the other discipline. Did you ride mountain bike already when you were 16 and already successful in cyclocross?
Yeah, for sure. I think since under 17 I've always combined the two, actually. So when I was under 19, I also did some like the junior series, worlds already on the mountain bike, and also last few years under 23. So yeah, this year stepping up, and it went the best season so far. So really nice.
Where did you train in the Netherlands when you were riding mountain bike? Because it's pan flat, right?
Yeah, it's really flat. No, actually they made like a lot of trails around my home, which is really nice. The trails are easily doable on the cyclocross bike as well. It's not really mountain bike specific, so yeah, most of the technique I learned like at the World Cups themselves, like at the bigger international races. But now also they have like at 40 km from my home, they built like a bike park with stones and stuff, and it's really nice coming there with like a group of all under 23 junior riders to train there together, do intervals together. It's really good for the technique.
Okay. Yeah, just to make the introduction complete. 2 times Dutch champion under 19 in mountain bike cross country. Third, 2nd, and 1st at the European Championship in mountain bike. In this year, 2023, already 3 World Cup victories, and 2nd in the short track World Championship and 3rd in the cross country Olympic. And yesterday, short track victory. it's quite it's like Mathieu van der Poel or like Tom Pidcock. They can do it all. Puck can do it all.
Till now, it's been really good.
Yeah. Georg, he's like today he's our expert in mountain biking because like we know him quite well, and he's doing cross country for all his life. But now, do you know him? He won Cape Epic last year and
really?
2nd this year. It's like Speed Company Racing.
I watched the Cape Epic, so then I have to.
This is one of the Speed Company guys. But I gave him as a homework that he shall think about some questions for you, more specific than ours could be.
Yeah, so maybe the most interesting question: what is the main difference between cyclocross and cross country?
The main difference, first thing is I think the time of the race. So cross is normally around 50 minutes. So then cross country is almost 2 times as long. So it's a bit more endurance, of course. And then the biggest thing is of course the stones and the descents that you have in mountain biking, like the rough terrain. Mountain biking is really, you can be good on the climbs, but you also have to be really good in the descents. And cross is more, like a crit on the road, fast riding off road, on the grass.
Yeah, and maybe, do you think cyclocross is more explosive, or you need more explosiveness for all the accelerations? Or
Yeah, I think so. After like every corner, you need to really attack and keep the speed high. Sometimes you have races that almost between 25 and 30k an hour average. So the speed is way higher than on the mountain bike. It's not all about pushing watts per kilo like uphill.
Yeah. And how was the switch for you? Like, was it easy doable? I mean, you were quite successful in mountain biking straight away, so it worked out well for you. But did you prepare like different to mountain biking?
Well, it looks a bit the same actually. But for cross season, I don't really have a preparation period because it's so close to the mountain bike season. So, and during cross, you also can't really do like big training blocks because every weekend is, for some people, even 3 races. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, you're just only doing recovery rides every day.
I think you cannot do that on the mountain bike because the mountain bike races are too intense.
Yeah, I think so. Like now we have 8 World Cups and it's already quite a lot on the mountain bike.
Yeah, I think so. Because I do the stage races in the spring season, and for me it's also quite hard to combine marathon racing and cross country racing. I mean, I'm not racing in the first positions in marathon, but also I race in the first positions in marathon, but not in cross country. So in cross country, I'm happy if I get 20th or something, but it's super hard to combine it.
Yeah, and it's also you need to really switch mentally in your head that it's a bit different.
When I talk to people like you, I always wonder how does it feel to be able to achieve everything? What do you set goals for yourself, or do you just go and see what happens?
Yeah, for sure you set goals, but also before the season I didn't really know what to expect because it was my first time in elite.
Yeah.
And in cross, you already start from when you're 16 with the elite riders. So you ride against Marianne Vos already. Mm-hmm. And then you can really see yourself season by season moving up. And now it was really a bit, I didn't know what to expect. So through the season, the goals have adjusted bit by bit. At first, it was to be top 8 one time because that would get me into the Olympics. And now it's just to ride the podium every race, which is... till now, only Andorra in the XCO it didn't work out, but otherwise every race. So.
And how would you describe it for yourself? Is it fun, or is it like chasing goals, or is success fun for you, or is the way fun for you to the success?
Yeah, I think the whole process till now has been really fun for me. It's really nice to see improvement. Also, still through the year, but also season by season, you see it becoming yourself becoming better and better. So that's of course the fun, but now it's also more pressure, of course, with the leader's jersey on my back. So now it's also a bit more mentally tougher than being the dark horse and just getting to go into a race.
Yeah. And do you already think about for your future? Because you, as I already said, you also race on the road sometimes and switch disciplines. And maybe I can imagine that this is a pretty close calendar. And as a 21-year-old, maybe you don't think about the future, or this can be too much at some point. Do you already have thoughts in this direction that you say, okay, at this point I have to take a break, or I have to do something different, that my mind is clear again?
Yeah, I don't know. Till now it has worked out pretty well. The combination between, especially road and mountain bike and cyclocross. But for the future, of course, I think I need to make more and more choices if what you want to do, because you can't ride road season and a full mountain bike season. You also see that with Pitcock, for example, who isn't a lot on the mountain bike. But I think as long as I have the fun in the mountain bike, I won't go away that quickly.
Okay, yeah, because I followed your results a little bit, you know, and with the success you had in cyclocross, it was hard to not see it. And when I saw you racing in Strade Bianche, especially this year, I thought, okay, if she's doing more road racing in the future, for sure, she's one of the biggest riders also on the road. So I think that maybe that will be the hardest thing for your career, not to, you know, ride your bike, but choose in which discipline.
Yeah, for sure. It's also, I think, really nice to have like that discipline that I haven't really explored yet, still there. So yeah, when I want to change it up in the future, I can always do like a season maybe on the road and see how that goes. It's really, yeah, and then you also don't have like the pressure, of course, because then you're there again, the dark horse that has to move up through the races and learn a lot.
Yeah, I guess the dark horse is history.
On the mountain,
whatever you do, there will no status. There will not be a status as a dark horse again. Did you have idols in your career, or do you still have idols?
Yeah, for sure. Like when I started watching racing, Marianne Vos was already winning like everything. Yeah. From cross on the roads, always.
Also, when we were starting racing.
Yeah. So she's been there for a long time, and that's, I think she's, for like most of the Dutch young female riders, she's one of the biggest inspirations.
Do you have contact to her?
Yeah. When you see each other at races, you of course talk now.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think that's also big. She plays a big part in the success of Dutch cyclists. I mean, you're coming from a strong cycling nation, but especially in women's cycling, you have a lot of talent. Like the biggest riders in the world, most of them are probably Dutch. And I think Marianne play a big part of that.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people or girls went on the bike because of her. Yeah.
Okay, we need you to take out your phone. And open the WHOOP app.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. You can do it too.
Yeah.
Georg.
I just discovered this yesterday, that there's like something of a record page.
A record
page? You know
it?
it?
No.
You go on your profile, and all time. Yeah.
Ah,
okay.
Nice.
We can now.
All time?
So, question is, what is your worst recovery score?
My worst?
Your worst recovery score?
4%. I think that was last year after the after party of Worlds here in Leger.
Yeah, like we had to talk to the WHOOP guys yesterday, and Ollie said already, normally you know what was your worst score. What
after this Worlds, it was also, I think, really low.
Georg, what is yours?
Yeah, I'm at 1%.
Yeah.
The same.
Yeah,
1%. Yeah.
That's the big goal for me as well at the end of the season.
Yeah, but I think it was also after some party or something. Yeah. Like if there was a big race and then a big party afterwards.
I already qualified as a non-partier yesterday because I have 15%.
So you're not training hard enough.
No.
Yeah, or not partying hard enough. But last year at Speed Company Rave, I haven't had WHOOP already. So I guess this year this could be a good day for a 1%er.
For sure.
Okay, then your highest and lowest HFV?
My highest was 148. So that's quite high for me. And then the lowest was 61.
All right. And heart rate?
198. So almost 200.
Lowest?
I don't see lowest heart rate.
It's the lowest?
Okay.
You have it? Yeah. 37.
Wow. Nice. Georg?
What? HRC or?
Both.
33 and 107, so I'm not... There's not much... and then heart rate 41 and 64.
Does anyone here have a high score of 21 or?
You mean the?
Yeah,
like the
resting heart rate.
No, the I don't know actually what it means.
Belastung.
How it is in English.
Maximum strain.
Strain. Yeah,
20.7. Same for you, I think. Yeah. 20.7.
I don't think I think nobody gets
20.6.
21. Huh? No. It's still to be
almost
done.
impossible.
We have
I
experts for this question later on.
Will probably had it, right?
Yeah. Okay, then your longest sleep at last?
My longest sleep was 10.5 hours.
Nice.
Oh, 12 hours, 16.
Around the clock.
All right, I think we can now say bye and wish you a good rest for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
And we will cheer you.
Yeah.
It was really nice chatting to you guys.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no worries.
Good luck for whatever you decide to do in the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully, see you in some more road races.
Yeah,
But that's just me, you know.
exactly.
We'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
you,
bye.
Puck.
Okay, I think we will have a little bit of an Egger corner now.
Yeah.
And then
All right.
come to our last guest, who was supposed to be our first guest today. Yeah, guys, we have to discuss a bit today because we have a podcast swinger club here. I wrote down. There's a different event today where our partners are together.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true.
okay, let's explain the situation. Besenwagen is Andi Stauf, Paul Voss, and me, and Speed Company Racing is Georg Egger and Lukas Baum. So here in Leger, it's Andi, Georg, and me, and at German Gravel Championships, it was Paul Voss and Lukas Baum. And what did
It
happen?
was Paul Voss versus Lukas Baum.
Yeah. Maybe we can do some like arm wrestling or something.
We're having a good time. Just
Yeah.
they had to battle it out. Yeah, I mean, I think they're finished now. Lukas Baum won. Congrats to Speed Company Racing.
Congrats.
But Paul
Was it-
managed to get second. For an old man, it's pretty good.
How old is Paul Voss?
I think he's 37, 38, something like this.
37 or 6, yeah.
Yeah. So I told Bassi this morning, Lukas should win it. I mean, he's like 10 years younger than him, so
That's true.
he has the power of youth.
Yeah, so, but he's Germany's biggest gravel pro.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but now
gravel pro doesn't mean, I mean, they are content creators,
Best,
right?
worst retirement.
It's a little bit, it's just a different title for it.
So my teammate is now also a content creator.
No, he's a mountain bike pro.
But
Just-
now he's looking a bit like he's switching to gravel, more or less.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
we will see.
you
No,
also
I mean-
have to do it next week to help him. I heard
I
already.
also switched now. My first gravel race is incoming next weekend, so we'll see.
Yeah, I just noticed today, because all this is win-win situation for me. I would be happy for Paul, but yeah, I'm happy for Lukas because I'm managing Speed Company Racing and yeah, get a bit of return when Speed Company Racing is winning races. But you will do gravel next week.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I was in Andorra last week,
Yeah.
and or 2 weeks ago, and I decided to do that gravel race as well.
You
Because-
liked it so much in Andorra that you want to go back, or did Lukas convince you?
No. I thought maybe it's really a cool event, and it was an easy flight from more or less my hometown to Girona, and then it's only 2 hours from Girona to that gravel race. And then I decided, okay, let's try it. But it's quite hard. It's 180 kilometers and 3,000 meters
It's
of
in
climbing.
height, yeah.
It's not
In
too high, I
altitude?
think. It's
No.
not in Andorra directly.
Okay.
It's between Barcelona and Andorra.
All right. Do you know who's starting there?
Yeah. it's-
Besides
it's
Paul?
Yeah. And I think Ivar Silk.
Uh-huh.
Then Hans Becking, which is also
All
a
right,
good
yeah.
mountain biker.
Yeah.
And then I'm not. I don't know the gravel guys too good. So, but I think there are a few good guys.
Yeah. Yeah, but Baumi as new crowned German champion. We already discussed that we will have to manage to get some all-white kit for next week.
Yeah, the time is running. We
Yeah.
try to do our best.
All right. Okay.
The
The white WHOOP band is
it's in the making. It's in the making.
And I said, let's organize some airbrush guy.
Okay, but now we are here in Ligier,
Yeah.
Mountainbike World Cup cross country. You're actually not a cross country rider. Your main discipline is marathon. What are you doing?
No.
No, that's not true. I mean,
That's not true.
I did cross country from childhood on, together with Lucas. But then we found out that marathon is more our thing, or especially Lucas really likes the long distance riding. That's why he's also riding gravel races. And I'm still a bit in love with cross country because it's so pure and you can see everything on the track. As a spectator, it's easy to see the whole race going on, and that's what makes cross country racing also quite spectacular. The tracks look a bit more sketchy and more tricky. They are also more tricky to ride, and it's a bit like a mix of marathon and downhill racing combined.
I just wanted to say, sing us the song of Cross Country World Cup, because as long as I know you, which is not so long, like not even 2 years, I know that Cross Country World Cup is your complete passion. you love to, like, did you attend every station this year?
No, till now, yes, but I won't do the overseas World Cups.
Yeah.
But you don't know the other guys in the World Cup. They're even more crazy than me, I think.
All right.
But for me, it's kind of normal to race the Cross Country World Cup because I did it for several years now. And I'm still in the mix and still in good positions. But for sure, we won the Cape Epic, and now everyone knows us because we won that race. And position 20 in the Cross Country World Cup. Yeah, no one recognized it that much. So, but for me, it's quite fun to race those events because the event is super nice, and sponsors also realize that you're on a super good level if you race top 20, which is also quite hard in that starter field because they are starting 120 guys, and if you're in the front or top 20, it's still good. But
you have to say it's not only Cape Epic. Like tell what you won in the last 2 years, which stage races and marathon races.
Yeah, there are a few more. Like we won Epic Israel, Lucas and I together. We all the time we race together if it's possible. And there are also some stage races, the Mediterranean Epic, which I won by myself. And I had a few top 10 results in European Championships cross country. Yeah, so now. Yeah, Lucas was third in the World Championship marathon, and so we are quite crazy in our race schedule. So we mix everything up a bit, and everyone races the races which fits the best.
Yeah, and I know it's super important for you to race cross country. You were third, bronze medal in German Championships cross country this year.
Also,
And
a few years ago,
and I didn't mention it. You start here tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I mean, the track here is quite nice. You can overpass riders super easy because it's quite wide all the time. And I start from 55, so maybe I can do a personal best. I'm feeling good now.
Yeah,
had a bit of struggle the last weeks, but now I'm good again, and we'll see.
Yeah, I totally get that you keep doing these events, because this is only my second mountain bike event in a short while. I was at the Worlds, and now I'm here in Ligier. And you're right, it's a cool vibe. It's much cooler than road races actually,
which is not difficult.
I think you couldn't do an event like this in road cycling. But for example, imagine you have like the whole road peloton for a whole weekend in a place like this. And you have a small crit on Friday afternoon, and then there's a party in town. I think you would meet like half of the road peloton at the party, and then on Sunday they won't be able to race. So
we'll see, because now the downhill race is going on, and maybe there's no racetrack left tomorrow because these guys are also partying so crazy. But I mean, now it's even nicer because there are so many mountain bike disciplines meeting at one point. For example, now there's the downhill race. Yesterday was short track, tomorrow's cross country, and next weekend is marathon and enduro racing. So it's not only one weekend, it's even 2 weekends, and a whole week of mountain bike racing.
What do you say? Would you die if you ride a 170 crank?
What crank?
Crank length, 170?
I actually tried 172.5.
And
it was
you
a bit
went
weird.
into hospital directly?
Not directly into hospital, but cramping.
This is lies.
Yeah. No, but it's... I don't know. I actually thought about maybe it's even better in mountain biking because then you can pedal more and you're not...
In marathon, it should definitely work out.
Yeah. But
you don't have the crazy steep gaps and stuff like that where you need the long cranks.
Yeah,
but
normally not. And I mean, even in mountain biking, you're not standing that much that you have to pedal from zero. Yeah. But
no, I just find it super, super funny because I just realized that this is the only thing where mountain bikers are super stiff, are super like roadies. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, we should check it maybe in winter if
with
you
your
need a lot
size,
of time.
It's okay.
Yeah, with my size, it's not.
But when you talk to Louis Neff,
yeah, exactly.
he cannot do another crank length. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. I wrote down another question.
Yeah. We were still talking about like this event. How many times have you been here already?
I think it's a third time here. Last year were World Championships here. Oh, I think fourth time, yeah. And then before 2 World Cups, yeah. But yeah.
And what is your favorite mountain bike World Cup?
Yeah, this one is quite nice, and also in Novo Mesto, Czech Republic, it's a quite nice race, and Lenzerheide is also nice. And the last years there was also a race in Albstadt as well. Oh, yeah. And the atmosphere there was also great. I mean, the course was a bit old school, like 2 long climbs, a bit like here. But the climbs in Albstadt are a bit steeper, which is not too good for me, but I did also good races in Albstadt as well.
What would you say is your best strength on a mountain bike?
Yeah, it's actually... I think I would be a good time trail guy if I do road cycling. So actually it's not the acceleration, it's more or less the pure power, like slightly flat uphills without much corners, just pushing hard. That's also Luca's strength, and that's why we are so good in those stage races.
Yeah. It's sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you already looking forward to the Cape Epic next year, or
yes.
Yeah? Yeah, I said I would come with you like for 2 weeks this time. Don't know if it's good or not, but I guess it's gonna be fun.
I think it's good, huh?
Yeah. Do you guys plan to do the, how's it called, Tanka track?
Yeah, that's not safe yet.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
there's another stage race before in South Africa.
I think it's 5 weeks before or 4 weeks before, and it's too long if you stay down that long. I think maybe it was good that we traveled so late before the race, or we only traveled 6 days before the race, and then the excitement was super high. And if you're there for 2 or 3 weeks, then you get a bit tired and you're not that excited anymore. And I think it was quite good to be there just a few days before the race and then go full gas for the short time period which you're there.
How long would you say that the preparation for the Epic takes you? Like, how many races do you need before? When do you start to go like with the goal of preparing for the Epic?
Yeah, the last years we did 2 stage races before. We started end of January, and Cape Epic is end of March. So yeah, the final preparation is 2 months, more or less. So we did 2 stage races in that period, and then we were good to go.
What will be the last race this year?
Before the
before the winter break.
Yeah, that's the Epic Israel. Yeah, which is also a stage race, 4 days, and like kind of little Cape Epic, if you want to say it like that.
You will meet Paul there. Again.
Yeah, exactly. He's racing with Tim.
With Tim or Louis?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
One guy from Rose. Yeah.
Not decided yet.
So first mountain bike race for Paul.
First mountain bike stage race.
That's good.
And first mountain bike race.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he ever did a mountain bike race.
Yeah.
I definitely did not do a mountain bike race in my career. I was only like for winter training.
Yeah.
I was on a hardtail mountain bike, you know. Nowadays they go on a gravel bike. Back then it was hardtail mountain biking.
But for winter training it really makes sense because on the road sometimes it's too cold. I like the gravel bike for winter training the most because then you can do long rides on the road, and if it gets too cold you can switch to off-road.
How much are you training on a road bike actually?
Now because I got the gravel bike, not that much on the road bike anymore, but it's maybe 50%, 60% sometimes. Because it depends on the season. Like in winter, a lot of time on the road.
I know that the king of marathon, Karl Platt, always trained a lot on the road bike, like also crazy distances, like 300k rides regularly. So is that what?
No, but that was a bit. All the Bulls guys from that age, they did crazy trainings, like only 200Ks plus, and if they're on Mallorca, they always do like 200 every day, like island
with
laps.
Udo Belt.
Yeah, it was crazy. But we are not training that crazy. So maybe Lucas is a bit more into long distance riding than I. But
he does mountain bike on the road.
Yeah, that's also a bit weird. It took him about 2 years to take his first trail descent in Andorra because he was training 2 years only on the mountain bike on the road, with the mountain bike on the road. Yeah. So,
all right, let's introduce our last guest. Was supposed to be the first guest today. I'd say normally Jeremy Powers would be qualified as a normal full-time guest in Besenwagen Worldwide podcast. Maybe we can do this in the future. Another one, yeah. But first of all, thank you for inviting us here and thank you for hosting us. Jeremy is working at WHOOP now, and he can tell us if anyone scored 21 already.
First of all, thank you guys so much for having me. It's a pleasure, and it's great to be with such a great podcast crew and a big champion. So thank you for that, and also thank you to me, but also thank you to our good colleague Oliver Fiedler, who runs all of our German-speaking territories and helped put all of this great stuff together. The truth about the 21 is that, unfortunately, that's not possible. Like, you'd have to work out at 100% of your maximum for 24 hours straight, which I will tell you, though, that a rider that rides for Education First, Lachlan Morton, last year, he did the Tour de France unsupported. And this is public knowledge. We put this data out there as a look back and a dissection of what he did. But he did a 20.8 on the last day. And if you recall, he wanted to beat the peloton, wearing sandals, and he is because his feet were so sore from trying to ride the entire Tour de France completely unsupported. On that last day, he rode, I think, 15 hours in rain and with a headwind, and he did a 20.8. It was unbelievable. His metrics from the tour, they just kept going down and down and down. And it was he was sleeping in a tent, eating baguettes and Cokes, and he died a little bit, but he came back to life. One day he was at 1% when he finished. Another day it was it still wasn't good. But being such a big athlete, the second day his HRV went back to 200. He's so fit, but his body was under such intense fatigue. But the highest that I've ever seen is that day from Lachlan Morton, 20.8. Savage effort.
I think the body just gives up at any point. It says, okay, it doesn't make sense to be tired. I have to activate not to die.
I think you're hallucinating at that point, though. If you've ever ridden your bike more than 8 hours, you die once and you come back to life.
Yeah.
And if you do that twice over, 15 hours where you've already done 16 days before it of doing that, you're just you're a bit lackadaisical.
Yeah, he's an incredible athlete, and he must have a certain strength mentally, which is unbelievable. But somehow it didn't work out for him on the road. I mean, did you actually were teammates with him back at Jelly Belly?
Jelly Belly, yeah.
We were sort of kind of teammates, yeah. But rode for the same team, but never at the same time. But I know him through a lot of great mutual friends. And when I was racing, my mechanic is also now his mechanic. So there's a lot of crossover, but consider him a friend, but never raced with him side by side.
I mean, he was one of the biggest prodigies probably for Australian cycling. I mean, he's Australian, but lived like most of the time of his riding career in the US. So it's a little bit, coming from an US continental team into the World Tour was very promising for him. He did some spectacular races as well on the road. I mean, he won Tour of Utah, I think, then switched back. But actually, I wanted to come to the time your career, like at Jelly Belly. And I looked it up because I was thinking about it yesterday. Did we actually race together? And yes, we did. 2010 Tour of California.
Hey.
Yeah.
I have a lot of great memories of that race, actually.
Yeah, it was a really nice race. I remember,
what team were you on?
With Quickstep.
Dang, dude. Yo, we're among greatness in here.
The stars.
Oh, snap. I need to get myself on the Wikipedia. I need to know. I was in a breakaway one day with one of your teammates then. I had a really nice day out in 2010. It was a rider from Quickstep that I'm not familiar with his name, but Lars Boom and I were in the breakaway that day. Do you know who it was?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, it was really tall, skinny guy.
Definitely not me.
No.
And he was just enjoying the landscape.
Yeah. It was a really nice race. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore on the calendar.
I agree.
And I think everyone in road cycling would wish the Tour of California to come back.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, that was such a beautiful race. I had the opportunity to do it a couple of times, and I was never really that amazing of a road racer, but I loved racing on the road, to be honest. Like, I just wasn't as gifted at road racing. They were very long, and I am very ADD. My attention is not that long, and 5-6 hour races was just take a long time to get through that. So if I wasn't in the breakaway or contributing in some other way, I was completely bored by road racing.
Yeah. So your main discipline was cyclocross.
Yes. Early in my life, I did mountain biking. This is where I got started because it's really fun and there's a great environment. As you can tell here in Ligier, it's exactly how I remember it. Community environment. People are out stoked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a good feeling here. People are cheering. They're enthusiastic. They really put their riders up on pedestals. They want to cheer on who they're fans of. But there was a great mountain biking community when I got started, 1996, 97, 98. Those years where I was very young. 13, 14, 15, but I had pictures of Paola Pezzo and Missy Giovi and all these famous mountain bikers at that time that were kind of blazing the trail for this. Ned Over and John Tomac. That's who I was like, oh my gosh, enamored with. And that grew a lot of passion for me. So I raced mountain bikes all as a junior. And then the bottom sort of fell out of mountain biking in the early 2000s. And you couldn't make a living at it anymore, but you could on the road. And so that year we just did all road racing, and then I turned pro that next year, and that was it. Like the story's written.
How did you discover cyclocross then as an American?
I had a coach that was really into it, and he thought it would be good for me. The shorter races, the short attention span, and the way that my body type was. Cyclocross doesn't have a lot of usually like really big hills like this, and I'm like a bigger build, even though I'm probably like, people see you like, oh yeah, you're skinny, but actually for a bike racer, I had a really big legs and a lot of weight on my lower half of my body. So yeah, it was like that. Just they thought I'd be good at it. Shorter climbs, punchier efforts, explosivity, and those were characteristics as with the short attention span too. Yeah.
And so you turned out to be the best US rider in cyclocross.
Yeah, it was.
So for me, you were this. When I remember like Jeremy Powers, not that I was like following your whole career, but like you were the best US rider at your time.
Oh, we lived in a beautiful time for cyclocross. It was really popular, and we had a lot of great series, and there was a lot of money to be able to make a living from it, which I think at the top sport, you have to be able to make a living if you want to contribute your whole life to it and focus everything around it. So I retired from road racing. I raced with Jelly Belly for about 10 years. I retired in 2013 at the end of that year, and I went only for cyclocross. So I retired. I did 5 more years of racing, exclusively cyclocross, and I have so many great memories. It was really those were the big years.
Would gravel be a discipline for you, or is that?
It's back to the same road problem.
It's too long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
So I raced a race like
short track gravel.
Yeah, no, really. So I did Paris to Ancaster, this beautiful race up in just near Quebec or Toronto area of Canada, and it's like a 2-hour gravel race. And I was able to win it one year and place and rode it a bunch of times. That for me was super fun. 2-hour gravel race, yes, like all day. But these 8 and 10 hour death marches, I have so little interest in it. I can't tell you. I would rather do anything. I'd literally rather do a puzzle at my house with my kids than do a gravel ride for 10 hours.
Yeah, that's the US gravel style. I think maybe now the World Cups and everything will be a little bit shorter, but still probably like 5 hours around that.
The gravel World Cups are shorter, but I think they want to do them longer.
Yeah,
so I know I think the real gravel guys, they want long races.
Yeah, and like the UCI races at the moment are even like 3.5 hours only, and because they are so fast, I don't think they predicted them to be so fast. And I think too they have to add minimum an hour.
Yeah, because otherwise it's more or less marathon racing on a gravel bike, and it's not a different discipline really.
Jeremy, like we said in the beginning, usually we have a different co-host with us, Bastian, me, and Paul Voss.
Yes.
Do you know Paul Voss?
I do.
You do? Because he also told us a story like, damn, I'm not in Ligier, I have to do the gravel championships because I have a story with Jeremy Powers.
Yeah,
do you remember?
Go on, I'm curious to know the story.
So he did a cyclocross race in France or in Belgium with the national team.
We don't remember, I guess he
like
did
a World
too.
Cup race. And then he crashed in the race and he went to the hospital and was left there by the federation. They forgot about him
German
and they went back home. So, and he didn't remember if you crashed as well or if you just picked up your teammate in the hospital.
I told this story the other night. Go on, continue with the story.
Yeah. And then, actually you gave him a lift because otherwise he would have been stuck at the hospital, right?
That is like the blessing and the curse of me. I tend to be a really nice guy, and it doesn't always work out. Yes, I do remember this now that you bring this story up. And I did crash, and I remember I got up and I was like, I'm fine. Like, everything's fine. And they were like, it was in France, and they were like, no, you're an American, and you're going to sue us. So you have to go to the hospital. So they made me go to the hospital with them. And I didn't have anything wrong, but I do remember that he was there and that this happened. And then, we for sure gave him a lift.
Yeah. That's yeah.
So how do you remember him? Like for us, he's always quite nervous guy. Like how did he?
This is
when
a
was
really
this?
long time ago. I have to be honest with you. I always say that the analogy is that like there's a lot of penguins on the iceberg, and sometimes the penguins slide off the iceberg when there's too many on. Yeah. This is one of those cases where I remember it vaguely. This is a vague memory, but I don't remember it super well. But maybe he remembers something about me.
Yeah, probably it's like 15 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was one of the best German riders.
Yes.
At this time, and he's still like loving his cross career memories, and he's still like talking about this a lot, and like thinking of himself as a cyclocross rider, even if he turned road pro then and was quite successful there too. And it's funny because as an American or a German, you go to Belgium or to the Netherlands and you get your ass kicked. Yeah. Like, how was this for you?
Yeah.
When did you come over? Was this early in your career?
Yeah.
Or?
2004, I made my way over to Belgium, and I lived there for a couple of years. I would go home because of the visa stuff. You got to go home a little bit, but I basically lived in Belgium for most of my early 20s. I don't know if that's like the best thing. There was a lot of crying, to be totally honest with you. It's a hard life in Belgium by yourself as a young whippersnapper trying to make it in bike racing. Often, you probably know that the level is extremely high. There's not, at that time, there wasn't as many resources. I had a lot of friends, but they only spoke Flemish, so you need to learn Flemish. Truthfully, when I got there, I didn't even know how to do anything. It was really, really like that. Like, you didn't even know how to use the phone. So, and there wasn't mobile phones or text messaging at that time.
And it's a bit gray there too.
Yeah. It's very dark and cold. Yeah. And I have many Belgium stories, but I also think that made me much better later in my career. I was happy I went through that trial of those years doing that alone. But later, I think it did help me and make me quite hard to the variables that you face there. And you just can't be a wuss. At the end of the day, you really have to be hard, and you have to grow mentally very strong to be able to live and take care of yourself, and then to actually get to that level. Because probably not the most naturally gifted cyclists. You work at it really hard. Like some of us, they come in, they win everything immediately, and others, you work really hard for it. It's like you have to build yourself up. And so I was in that latter category. So to be able to actually get results in Europe, it was a long road for me, but eventually we yeah, we did some, I think for myself, I was really happy with my career and respectable results, top 10, a lot of top 10s in the World Cup and the cyclocross. And yeah, I can be happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like a win for somebody who's not Dutch or from Belgium, right?
Yeah, First American was a big thing all the time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, First American. I'm like, I know, but I'd like to be, yeah. So, yeah, I think my best result in the World Cup ended up being 6th, and I was staring at the podium. And I remember that race, but it was the best that was possible on the day. So, but I achieved a lot of what I wanted, so I'm really happy.
I have a question. Because you now here are our WHOOP representative,
Yes.
and I guess you are pretty much into the insides of WHOOP and stuff like that. And we have a speed company racing group on WHOOP. 2 athletes and me as the manager. And I always have the best values, the best data. Like heart rate.
You don't have any kids, do you?
Heart rate variability is also like, yeah, resting heart rate and heart rate variability.
HFV,
yeah, HFV.
always like, and should we worry? Should I worry? But it's going pretty well. Yeah. They are winning stuff. So.
Everyone's metrics are individual. So like as part of my role here doing sports marketing and different hats, we all wear many hats here at WHOOP, and it's a big team of people that make all these great things possible. But I end up looking at a lot of teams and athletes' data and helping them understand more of what's going on inside of it.
That's super interesting.
I would need to look at your data to understand. But oftentimes, like I talk to a lot of athletes, and sometimes they say like, hey, you know, talking in big numbers, I used to have a 200 HRV and now I have 100 and I don't know why. And then if you go back a little bit in time and you do a little therapy and they sit on your couch and you listen, you realize like maybe they had a girlfriend break up with them. Maybe they changed their home. Their sleeping environment's different. They moved to altitude. There's all of these things, and WHOOP is so tight that it knows this and it tells you.
So their lives basically are just shit. They should learn from me.
I was trying to do the politically correct version, and you use that version. But I'm not here to say that.
We can say that.
No, but the truth is that all the metrics are individual. Like what they have versus what you have isn't like it's not always like that.
But I think, Bastian, you are the most professional amateur in cycling. Like we could see at your worst recovery score is like the highest worst recovery score from all of us. So, I mean, you're working very hard on your cycling career, but
I'm working hard to ride training with pros.
maybe your talent is in a different sport. We talked about it when we went for a hike this morning.
Sure.
He's very talented in table tennis. Did you know that?
Really?
I didn't say that I was talented. I said I did this when I was young. I guess that where I'm coming from, people become wrestlers. Yeah, and I think pretty much when I wanted to be like successful in a sport internationally, I should have gone for wrestling too. Because short, compact, maybe I could have gone like for 60 kilo and still pretty strong.
But you've chosen cycling.
But I've chosen cycling where I definitely have no talent.
You have to be really angry though to be a wrestler, don't you?
No, these guys are totally relaxed too.
I don't think so. I think you're talking a little bit out of your
for 3
ears
minutes,
here.
they are not relaxed.
Yeah. But that's actually, I know a guy who does judo, and he's like the nicest person
But he would
you
kill
will
you.
know.
But
Yeah,
he would kill you.
He
Yeah.
can kill you. Yeah.
That's the kind of guy I want to hang around with, like when I'm, you know, doing like, you can always come. Like in the event that something happens, I have you. This is the insurance.
All right, so I guess we can come to an end, but I want to ask you your worst recovery scores too.
Oh gosh, I mean, yeah, who knows? There was getting COVID was a real bummer. That there were multiple days where it wasn't not good.
I guess I still haven't had it.
Oh, let's just knock on wood. Hopefully you don't get it. But yeah, COVID was a. I slept 16 hours the first day I got it. I just slept 16 hours. And that's for sure my biggest one. And I know for a fact that was a 1%er. That was, I've never seen anything like that. I think I had like a 16 HRV or something. It was like, everything just went like, it was like, great, great, great. And boom. And the weird thing was that my body was like getting prepared for it. And I could see my metrics the day before were really strange. So I took myself out of the mix of the family. And I was like, I'm going to just kind of be by myself doing things around the house. Yeah. And I wore a face covering. And yeah, for sure, that's my lowest day. But big days, I think I have a 20.7 as a big day. And my max heart rate's like 188. My lowest resting heart rate is like 42. I know my metrics. Yeah. I have one thing that I'm really proud of is I have almost 2,000 consecutive recoveries. So 365 divided by 2,000, that's like basically 5+ years of being on, I think 4+ years, something straight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good amount of data. But I think what you mentioned, the like that you can track your, or that you can see maybe something incoming, like an infection or something like this. I think that's one of the best features for an athlete using WHOOP, because a lot of, like you know it probably, a lot of athletes, they used to train hard, and even if they're not feeling really good, they push through, and then they will get much worse afterwards. And now with all the guys I know, Paul, I don't know how you are doing it, Georg, when you can see already that your scores are going down, that you can take a step back and, okay, I will keep it easy and then go through it a little bit better.
Even the other way, because my score was shit today, and WHOOP actually told me this morning to do a soft activity, and we went hiking. I told you then, let's go for a hike, and we did this, and yeah, I'm feeling good now. I feel better than at breakfast.
WHOOP is like funny because it will teach you a lot about yourself, but you have to be ready for the information. Yeah. You have to know what it says. It's like any training tool. If I ride for 500 watts for 10 minutes, but if I don't know what watts are, then I can't make anything about it. WHOOP is like, you have to have a learning curve. You have to have some level of understanding. And, you know, having been here, working here for many years, and then an athlete with them as an ambassador before that, I have a very unique, weird, like WHOOP sense about me when things are going right or when things are going wrong. And if we see something in the data, and not just with myself, but also with athletes that ask me, can you please, you know, they give us permission. We do a whole thing to be able to do that. Data privacy is very important at WHOOP, but we do a whole thing where we go in and we get the riders' permission, and then we can look at their data and we can see like wild things, like at like a Tour de France or at a Giro d'Italia or a big stage race, we can see a rider's deteriorating, and then the team will ask us if they like to confirm things or to look at things, and we'll see, yeah, this is what we see. We run daily reports with the teams that we work with, and we can almost for sure say that the rider won't finish the event like this, because you can see the trend in the data. It's quite clear often, but not always. But you know, especially if someone's getting sick or they've been in a breakaway, and then that was sort of the straw that broke the camel's back, if you would say. Like all of a sudden, you see that they have done a big day out, you know, say 5, 6, 7,000 kilojoules, like 8, 7, 6-hour stage, something really high mountains, tons of climbing, and then they just never recover from it. And you know, okay, something's happened here. And you should be doing everything, the team needs to be doing everything they can if they want to hold that rider in to try to get them to recuperate, to come back to their best self.
Do you have an alert set in the company? When an employee is going down
during
need holiday.
During the COVID times, we did ask anyone that was in the red not come in. So work from home. A lot of us were working from home anyway. But yeah, I mean, we all believe in it, and we don't. You know, we know what we know.
All right, I have a last question, and I'm pretty sure that you've got a story, because I'm asking this every guest of ours.
I'm worried.
And as we normally have pretty successful cyclists in our podcast, I often get the answer, no. Do you have a good story out of a Besenwagen? You know what is it? What it is?
I have so many. Yes. I heard earlier the Puck.
Yeah.
I do. Let me see if I can get it right. And I think you may be able to bring some of this to full circle since you were on Quickstep.
Yeah.
So I'm in the gruppetto, if you will, the back group. And I'm riding along, and I'm sitting with a Quickstep rider, and I look at the bottle that he's got, and I said, it's empty. Why do you have this bottle? And it had a picture of the soigneur from the team and his phone number on the bottle. And he said to me, when I see, people that look like they're enthusiastic and they might want the bottle with the soigneur's name and phone number on it, I throw it to them in hopes that they will call and say hello to our soigneur. So it's like my gift to the soigneur that he has his picture on here. And I've written this story on Twitter, and I'm going to pull it up because I could be a little bit off, but I've never laughed so hard in the Peloton over something like this, that the soigneur was putting his phone number on the bottles that the riders were throwing to the fans.
Yeah, that happened. But it was a little bit different.
Okay.
Because there was no picture on the bottle, but there was a phone number on the bottle. And it was my phone number, and I gave it to a fan. Because it was on the last stage of Tour of California, we did laps a few times, and then sometimes, you get eye contact with people on the road, and I just gave away my number. So
Oh my God.
It was the last stage.
Okay, so that was you that I shared that laugh with.
Yeah.
Did you know that story the whole time and you were waiting for me to tell it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe there were some other guys in the team doing the same stuff, but I think that was quite unique because also the sports director in the car, when I told him, hey, can you write my number on the bidon so I can give it to a spectator, he was laughing.
My mind is blown right now that this has come full circle here in Ligier. I just want you to know, this is probably one of the most hilarious stories. And this was not staged. For anyone that's watching, this was 100% on my mother's life. I did not know that this was the man that this happened with. But now that I look at you more, I'm thinking, holy shit, I did share this laugh with you.
Yeah. But that was a very good gruppetto that year. We had a lot of fun. I will tell another story of the gruppetto when we are off the record. It was like I said, a lot of people wish there's the Tour of California again on the cycling calendar. Let's hope it comes back. Maybe another good race in the US would be nice to be back on the World Tour for sure. A lot of American guys in the World Tour. We have an American team in the World Tour, so there should be a few American races. I like US races back on the calendar.
Yeah. Can I tell you another great broom story? 2-seconder.
Sure.
I was at the tour of Qinghai Lakes in the Tibetan highlands of China. We were at the stage profile was simply, it looked like this. It looked like a volcano.
One mountain.
Yes, you start at the bottom and then you go up to the top and you come down. And it went to 14,000 feet of altitude. I don't really know what that is in meters, but that's like the highest. Like you're like, after that, it's just like,
it's over 4,000 meters.
It's unbelievable. So I'm with a bunch of guys, and we were all really looking out for each other. Like, there's a guy that's like, a minute back. We have to wait for him. Like, we were really trying to make sure that everybody would get to the finish. And I get back to the team car, and I said to the team doctor, I said, I feel absolutely terrible. It was like sleet, snow, concrete blocks. Everyone's like really wretched and tired and cold. And I said to the team doctor, my helmet is like really tight on my head right now. Like my helmet feels like it's gonna pop out of my head. And she said, yeah, that's because we're so high that your brain is actually swelling up here. What am I doing? What are we doing right now, racing up this? And that's the only race that I was so happy just to finish. It was a life race, but the gruppetto in that race was something that was like, just unbelievable. It was just like guys just trying to make it through just to live.
Who won this?
Oscar Sevilla, I think, won it. But he also had to take a deuce, like a number 2, in like a cycling cap because everyone was their belly was so ruined from the water or the food or something. And I have so many stories from that race too.
All right. Okay, I think we have a title for this. Like, we can call this episode Full Circle in Ligier. And thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
George.